What is up, everybody? This is something cafe. This is a podcast that no one asked for. I didn't even ask for this, honestly. This is called Something Cafe. This is my new podcast. This is for those of you who don't know me. This is Celestino Dooley. I keep saying this is like I'm introducing someone else, but um, starting a podcast as a 21-year-old that lives on the coast is probably the most 21-year-old male who lives on the coast thing to do, honestly. You know, like, like, man, I'm so bored. I'm so bored, man. What am I gonna do? Oh, dude, I should start a podcast. That's where we are now. That's where we are. Hmm. What is this moof juice looking blue chug jug liquid? This is no other. This is no other than Mitra 9. My my dream sponsor. That was a cough of joy. But yeah, so this podcast, you know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's just get right into it. Honestly, it's just I just want to talk about things. I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say, and that's ironic coming from the guy with the speech impediment. Um, you know, this is your token podcast for hosts with Tourette syndrome. So you can feel good about you're doing your part for diversity. Um, you're doing your part for diversity, and honestly, thank you, because I know there's another guy who has a podcast with a stutter. He doesn't have Tourette syndrome though, like I do. But he was on America's Got Talent. He's a comedian, and no, he's really funny. He's really funny. Um, but his stutter's bad, and I can say that because I have a stutter. Like, me and him can make fun of each other. You know what I mean? Mine isn't as bad as his. I haven't stuttered yet, but now that I say that, it's gonna start. But his stutter sounds like, trying to start your car and you put the keys in upside down, you know? His stutter sounds like when you trip going up the stairs. Or that's more like mine, because mine is short unless I get real lucky and I hit all three of them cherries on the slots of the stutter, and it just goes on and on. And then I've got people waiting. I got people waiting for me to finish my sentence. I got people waiting for me to finish my thought. And next thing you know, we're sitting there for 5 minutes. And I'm in a perpetual trying to get my car started. Sometimes my stutter sounds like when a receipt gets jammed when the cashier's giving it to you. That's what my stutter sounds like sometimes. I used to tell people, and right there, that's the first one. Is this little thing? That's one of my tics. And when I talk about my Tourette's or I think about it, that one's all of the tics start going, but that is the most, like, that's the bad boy. He's in timeout. He's on the trouble list, to be honest with you. But what was I saying? My stutter. Oh, I used to tell people that, it's so stupid and it's so nerdy, but that, like, I have real life lag. Like, I live in a perpetual state of high latency, because where I grew up, we didn't have any good internet, and I was really into video games, given my body type, and I love playing video games. I was always known as the guy who has the absolute bottom barrel suck up Wi-Fi, and I couldn't play anything, and my game would lag more than I would. And the moment my game started to lag more than I would lag in real life, I mean that's when we knew we had an issue. For anyone who doesn't play games, that was a really boring topic. But maybe you learned something. You know, we're all here to learn something. I don't have a cold, but my nose is stuffy. And that may sound redundant because that's probably what a cold is. But nothing that a mitra can't solve, am I right? Nothing that a mitra can't solve. You know, I'm pretty excited. I got some new downstairs neighbors. And I haven't met them yet. I would like to, but I do feel bad for them. And I will tell you why. They have what seems to be like two beautiful dogs. And they can probably hear me right now because I have my porch door open. But there's a lag right there. Trying to get the lawnmower started. I have the porch door open because I like the wind and the breeze to come in. But they can probably hear me. What are you gonna do? But no, the reason I feel bad for them is because they have two beautiful dogs. At least that's what I assume. When I listen real closely, I think I can hear two of them, and I think I can hear that they're both about the same size. And for my place of work, I have to wake up relatively early in the morning. And since I live above them, I have stairs that I go down. And when I go down the stairs at around 5:30 in the morning, I try to ninja that. I try to ninja it, but my frame does not give well into the arts of the stealth, as you might imagine. And the moment I step on the first step, it is 5:30 in the morning. It's just, and the dogs just start having a yap session, and I feel it doesn't bother me because I'm already going to work. I feel bad because it's got to bother them because I can see that there's no light on in their window. Not that I'm looking. But when I walk by the window, there is no light. And all that's happened is I just step on the first step. And they just start having a cabinet meeting. Them two dogs. And man, I just feel bad. It's not my fault. I forget getting the bread early in the morning. So that's another thing. Getting the bread. That's something else that a 21-year-old male starting a podcast would say. But no, yeah, I really like my job. I don't know how personal I'm gonna get on this podcast. I'd rather not, because I would still like, I'd still like to be hireable. That's the thing is I would still like to be hireable. So I'm not gonna, I don't want to dox myself, but I do like my place of work. The only thing I don't like about my place of work is this one situation that I find myself in at least once a day. But you may be thinking to yourself, that's okay. I'm gonna put my sleeves down. It's getting kind of cold. You might be thinking to yourself, that's not that bad. Once a day, little situation, a little sitchy. No, it is bad. It is if I might say, it is stupid, this situation. Like all of us, I visit the bathroom once in a while. And when I'm in there, putting on my makeup and whatever, when I'm in there doing the Lord's work, the bathrooms in my place of work have a code on them. Beep, 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 beep. Enter. If it flashes green, Dale Earnhardt Jr., brother, you are... My cat almost just killed itself. Brother, you are good to go. If it flashes green, you are good. You are... Indy 500. If it flashes red, what do you think it means? Let's just all take a collective guess about what we think it means when it flashes red. If you've guessed that it's locked and someone's in there, you're correct. And you're probably above a 3rd grade level. Clearly, some people haven't graduated 3rd grade at my place of work. The amount of times I'm in there doing the Lord's work, as He intended, and I hear the beep, 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 beep. Fine by me. Good so far. Someone's trying to code in, and they're going to see that it's locked, and they move on. And they go to another bathroom. They put in the code, beep, 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 beep. And then they go again. Fine. Maybe they think they put the code in wrong. Albeit me. We all make mistakes. Beep, 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 beep. It's flashing red to them because, again, I am in the bathroom. They are not. Because I'm in the bathroom, the door is locked. 2 times, okay? Fine. Clearly, that is okay. And then the 3rd time happens, and that's when I'm thinking, what? What is going through your head? Let's just back up here. If you put in the code 3 times and it goes red, I really want to know. I want to see the list of the possibilities. I want to see the list of things that could be going on. A, Celestino's in there doing the Lord's work. Okay? B, the entire building is on a all-door lockdown, which you would know before you tried to put in a code. Or C, you're stupid. It is both A and C. Celestino's in there doing the Lord's work, and you're stupid. Because after the 3rd beep, 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 someone starts knocking. Hello? 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 I once had a foster cat with Down syndrome, and he picked up on cues better than whoever's trying to get in. Because I am taking my time. I am a 9-to-5 worker taking my time doing the Lord's work. And 3 times I try to punch in this code. Then they proceed to knock, and then they proceed to speak. I don't know what. I don't know how much Harry Potter they've had to watch to think whatever magical spell they're about to cast on me is gonna work to get me out of there. But it's not gonna work because I'm stronger than that. And also, it doesn't exist. Does not exist. Little ASMR there for you. Hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, that is the end of the year review. That is the only thing I'm putting down. Is that we need to gather everybody in the hospital. Oh, I said it. We need to gather everybody in the building and have a mandatory training. A training on what happens, it really couldn't be simpler. It could not be simpler because we are using colors. Colors are so basic. Red is bad or stop, green is good or go. If you drove here, then you have interacted with what some might call a stoplight. Some might call a stoplight. And if you manage to get past that, I would understand if we still had someone waiting at the stoplight for a couple hours because they couldn't figure it out. That person I would be fine with in this situation. But clearly you have all managed to pass the first boss, that of the stoplight. By the transitive property, the code has to make sense. That is the one thing that I cannot stand that's been happening recently. And my cat just, gosh, I love and hate my cat, but that boy just loves to just, sometimes I'll be wearing shorts and he does not play unless I'm wearing shorts, and he'll just think to himself, I know I'm dad. I know dad bought me 3 scratch posts in this studio apartment, so they are not hidden. It takes you about 2 minutes to find all 3 of them, or at least if you're good at moving your head. No, I'm gonna choose his bare leg, his bare calf, and I'm just gonna and just jump up there and just, gosh. When he does that, I get really good at kickball. Not that I kick him, but I try to get him off, and then I just kick in the air just to simulate me kicking him because it makes me mad. But I love him, and I don't abuse my cat. I love him very much. He's my little boy, and he is currently playing with what I believe to be the secondary wrapper of a Reese's peanut butter cup. So that's good. That's really good. That makes me feel good. Not. So, take another hit of this matcha. But yeah. And now, after work, goodness, my cat's name is Lars. My cat's name is Lars. I love my cat so much. I live by myself, if you couldn't already tell, and Lars is awesome. Some people ask me, did I name him after the Steven Universe character of Lars? Now, the people who have asked me that question are people that know me pretty well, and I just, whenever they ask me that, I just want I usually motion them to sit down, and for me to do a concussion test. Because if they know me well enough, they will know that is a show that I would have never once in my 21 years of life would have ever engaged with. The theme song is pretty good. I will give them that. The Steven Universe theme song is pretty good. I do enjoy it. It's got a good melody, but they asked me, did you name the cat after that character in Steven Universe? No. I named the cat. Oh, and then my father asked me, did I name Lars after the what was it? The drum player of Metallica? No. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I named Lars because I think it's really cute giving cute small animals like gas station human names. And I'm sorry if your name is Lars, but that's just how it is. I named Lars because I really like small, cute animals that have human names. For example, a pug named Greg. I think that's amazing. I think that's spectacular. A pug named Greg. Perhaps a cat. A cat named Frank. Is that not incredible? Because my previous cat I named after the Pokemon that reminded me the most of that cat. Her name was Pachirisu. I love Pokemon. It is my favorite thing in the whole world. Am I 21 and I still love Pokemon? Yes. There is nothing there is nothing in this world that makes me more excited than Pokemon. And not in like a lame way, like I don't like freak out, but it just gives me that warm fuzzy feeling whenever I see something Pokemon or I receive something Pokemon. Now that I'm an adult, I am now receiving Pokemon household essentials like Pokemon cutlery, which is kind of a double-edged sword because it's coming from non-house relatives, you know? Oh, Christmas is coming up. What can I get Celestino? Oh, I know he likes Pokemon, and I saw this Pokemon thing. The Pokemon cutlery is a bit of a double-edged sword because I would really like to have, you know, a girlfriend, and that's not really on. I could be wrong. That might not be on the list of yeses. I don't think I don't think any girl is going back to her friend like oh my gosh, you won't believe what he had. He had a Pikachu, salad tosser, like but that would still be kind of cool. I would still that sound was horrible. I would still like a Pikachu salad tosser. I mean, I think that'd be cool. But that's the double-edged sword. Do I think a Pikachu salad tosser is cool? Yes. Will it repel any woman in a 50-foot radius? Also, yes. No one's going back to their friend like, oh my gosh, he had a Pikachu, freaking, door stopper, like no one's saying that. Pikachu door stopper would be cool too. I don't know. I think it's just because I grew up with Pokemon that it became. I mean, like everyone has, it's a childhood love, it's a childhood thing, but it really became a sense of comfort for me because it was something that I could always go back to that was cool and unique, and every Pokemon was their own. Every Pokemon had cool powers and their own abilities and their own weaknesses, but they're also their own strengths. And that there were so many. And I think the creativity of it really was what made me love it so long ago. Because when I was growing up, I did not have the best childhood socially, because I would get bullied a lot and whatever. But Pokemon was always the thing that really never changed. It was always cool to me. Again, the creativity of it is the most enticing part of it. I love things that are just so unbelievably creative. But I don't even know how we got on this topic, to be honest with you. I'm currently looking at, 6 things that are Pokemon right now. I have a Pikachu Funko Pop sitting next to my speaker, to your right. I have a couple Lego Pokeballs sitting on my bookshelf, which were just things like sometimes maybe an aunt or an uncle will send me something, and again they'll go, "Oh, Celestino likes Pokemon. I'm gonna send him this." And at first it's like, well, yeah, that's a pretty easy gift, but then when I get it, I'm like, oh, this is wicked. This is awesome. Everything is covered in Pikachu stickers, like my laptop and stuff like that. But yeah, so I just deducted about 5 points from my attractiveness scale in the last 5 minutes, but I don't care because I like Pokemon. My cat, Pachirisu, that's what I was talking about. My cat Pachirisu was awesome. She died like a year ago, and that was my first animal, like my first pet death, other than I had a dog when I was real young, like before I could even have a memory, that just got absolutely thunderstruck by like a Ford F-150. Just absolutely pickleballed. Just absolutely George Foreman slammed. I don't remember it because, again, that was way before I had a memory. Even now, I have a hard time remembering things clearly. But his name was Nico, but no, Patrisu, or for short Pachi, was my princess when I was back at home. But now I have Lars, and Lars is a man. Lars is a gentleman. Maybe he'll make an appearance. He's running around here, but I don't really want to grab him and put him up to the camera. I'll just let him be. But yeah, no, that's Lars. Lars is he's a good boy. He's a really good boy. He has adapted one habit that I think no parent would want in a human. A little bit more acceptable from a cat, but nevertheless still odd, is that whenever Lars is really close to my face, he will attempt to what's a good way of saying this? To bite my eyes, to go up to my eyeballs, my balls of sight, and essentially just try to start biting them, which can present itself as an issue. Again, if a human were to do that, jail. Cat does it, cute, but also a little threatening. When I wake up to just Lars trying to bite my eyes, I need those. I need those real bad. I need those real bad. I need my eyes real bad. That's good. Kick my leg up. As a big man, there's a lot of different positions of comfort, and this is one of them. But yeah, no, my eyes are really important. And what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about my eyes. Something about my eyes. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Oh, I know what I was going to say about my eyes. My eyes, with my condition, with Tourette syndrome, like I said at the beginning, I have a lot of tics, which don't really, they don't really prove as an issue a lot. My mother always said that when she first had me, when she plopped me out, the doctor had said that if it ever became an issue, we can put him on medication. And I'm very grateful that my mom is smart and didn't do that. Not saying that a mother who is not smart would, but with my condition, it's just not needed. And I could see maybe somebody worrying too much and just thinking that, that it will help no matter what the severity of it is. But I don't need it. It's a part of my character. It's a part of my personality. It is a really awkward conversation starter, but it can also be really, it's I turn it into humor. That's how I see it. I turn it into humor a lot. But the thing is, you can see me doing it right now, and the only reason that I know I'm doing it right now is because I'm thinking about it and I'm talking about it. But I will have facial tics, and I won't know it, and that can prove as really difficult, because let me paint you a scenario. Okay, let me paint you a real life scenario that happened last week. I was at the gym. I've been working out again a lot. Very, very proud of myself. But I was at the gym and getting my pump in, and my tics were going. I don't know why, but they just were. Especially this winking tick, this blinking. It's not even winking tick. It's not even that my tick is winking. It's blinking, but only one side of my face, which inherently is winking. But it was going a lot, and there were a lot of, women around me. And when I'm at the gym, I just like to keep my head down. I don't really want to talk to anybody or whatever. I'm not mean at the gym. I just going to the gym is a personal thing to me, so I don't really like other people getting involved in it. But so yeah, I'm not talking to any of these women. I'm keeping my head down. I'm on the Stairmaster. I'm like the only guy on the Stairmaster, trying to make my butt pop, and I just happened to look a woman in the eyes. She had more than one, and this tick was going, and I knew right there that my fate, brother, my fate was sealed at that point. My fate was sealed. She looked at me and she like visually was disgusted, which, I mean, take it as it is. If like a meat hunk guy had done that to her, maybe she would have done the same thing. If a little nerdy dude did that to her, maybe she would have done the same thing. This isn't any judgment on her, because that is weird for a guy just to wink at her, that she's not asking for that. I don't want to do it either. But that specific tick was going, and I did it in her direction, and she just like visually just made like a body movement, and I was like, I was just any confidence that I had, which I'm usually running on fumes when it comes to confidence. Kaput. Just absolutely drained. Oh, I felt so embarrassed. Because you can't even, that's not even something that you can explain to somebody. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna like motion her off the Stairmaster to meet me at the bottom and take out our earbuds and, hi, my name is Celestino Dooley. Just, if you have 5 minutes, gross. If you have 5 minutes, let me explain. I have this thing called Tourette's, and it makes me blink and wink. It just sounds like I'm making excuses at that point. In my opinion, no one, like, no matter who that would have happened to, no one would think, oh, he must have Tourette's syndrome. Like, that's nobody's. Okay, hold on. This is Lars. Say hi to Lars. Say hi, Lars. Good boy. This is Lars. He smells like litter box, and he's my little son. He's my little buddy. He's gonna be making appearances a lot. I know. Go poop on yourself or something. All right. I have cat hair in my mouth. That makes for a good podcast. There's cat hair in my mouth. But like, no one thinks that. No one's first thought is like, why did that guy wink at? Oh, he must have Tourette's syndrome. Aha! Ow. Goodness. Lars is just, gosh, I love him, but sometimes he just, one day I'm going to grow my nails out really long and just grab you like you grab me. I'm not. PETA listening. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hug him. Gross. But yeah, just embarrassing. And it's like, again, you cannot explain that away. You really can't explain that away. So yeah, it's just not a good situation for anybody. I have now created by doing something I cannot control. I have now created a situation that nobody wants to be in. I think that's a little magical. I think that's kind of magical that I can do that. Is it a good? Is it good magic? No, it is actually it. I would consider it bad magic. But it is a little magical that I can do that. That I can create a situation out of thin air that nobody wants to be in. That's unique, you know. It's a little powerful. But yeah, the Tourette's has never come in handy, as you might, you know, I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Again, it can be kind of funny sometimes. I make fun of myself a lot. You know, but that goes to say, I make fun of my Tourette's a lot. Like when I'm at work, like if I ever stutter or I tick, like I I audibly make fun of it, and the guys laugh because they have to. Because if they didn't, then then I'm just disabled with no humor. Just kidding. But I make fun of it a lot. But that's the thing. I don't like it when other people make fun of it. If it's my really good friends and I have like a really bad stutter fit or whatever, or I have a big tick, that's fine, because these are people that I'm really close to. It was a big occurrence. But if it's like just some like people that I'm working with, or like whatever, or people that I'm making music with, or it really any, or even like family, which is kind of weird. I'm fine with my best friends making fun of it, but not my family. And I think maybe that's because I expect my family to respect it, just because they've known about it their entire lives, because I've been around them their entire lives. But with friends, I think it's a little bit more acceptable. But when someone makes fun of it, and I don't get on anybody about it, because I don't think that really wouldn't be fair, because I can't make fun of it myself out loud a lot and not expect someone to think that it's okay for them to make fun of it. Not that they're making fun of it, but just like poking jokes at it or whatever, drawing attention to it. It really wouldn't be fair for me to make fun of myself all the time and expect someone else to think, and expect someone to not think it's okay too. So yeah, I'm really not one of those people that, if someone does make fun of it, I don't go like, oh, I can't believe you make fun of it. It's something I've grown up with all my life. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like people making fun of it, but I also don't, I don't say anything about it, because again, how would they know? Since I'm so verbal about it, which is ironic, because the very condition that I'm verbal about is a condition that makes it harder for me not to be verbal, which is perfect for a podcast. But yeah, it's just something that, it's just kind of a difficult situation, and I try not to let it bother me, but because it was one of the main things that I've been bullied for all of my younger years. It's still touchy even now, as I'm 21, for someone to make fun of it, because it somewhat kind of brings me back to that place so many years ago when that happens, and it's just not a good feeling. But that's what I got, That's my condition. That's what I got. Am I lucky to have it? Yeah, because it's rare. But I am truly lucky, because I don't have a worse version of it. There is, because when people think of Tourette's, they think of the guy, they think of the Tourette's guy, the meme from years back, where it's the guy just cursing and and that is true. That is that is one diagnosis of Tourette's syndrome, but it is not all of them. So when I bring it up to someone, they always say, "Oh, so you like curse a lot and stuff like that?" Again, it would be very unfair for me to be upset by that, because that's all the media shows about it. There really isn't that much media that truly actually shows what Tourette's actually is. That there are different levels of diagnostics of it. So I say no, that's not what I have. I have something. I have this diagnosis where it's a much more mild one, but it's not the most mildest one. Blah blah blah. So because that's what most people think Tourette's is the whole cussing one and stuff like that. Which again, I I get, because which video would get more attention on the internet? A video of me stuttering through how I got bullied for liking Pokemon when I was younger, or a dude cussing every 5 seconds because the plate he picked up was hot? I would also watch the hot plate one. This is actually a mix. This isn't just Mitra 9. I love you guys, but it is also another sparkling water drink, American Clear, that I have in my lab, aka my kitchen, that I can barely fit in. That just goes to show. Mixed, like a little science experiment, a little delicious, exciting science experiment. Perhaps the most exciting science experiment. It is very chilly right now, but that's what I get for leaving my porch door open, because I love it. I love the wind. I love the sounds of the cars, the palm trees. And Lars likes to sit out there. He's actually out there right now, sitting on a pillow that I keep out there, because I like to put a pillow on my stomach when I sit in chairs, so I'm not self-conscious about my body. So he's sitting on that right now. Very proper, very astute little gentleman. I did not cover this at the beginning. This is gonna be audio and video. So you'll be able to get this podcast on video on YouTube, but it is also going to be on Spotify and like Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I at the beginning I said, that this is the podcast that nobody asked for, which is still true, but I'm excited because so my Spotify Wrapped this year, or for 2023, out of every Spotify Wrap that I saw, I had the most minutes listened, which I say that to prove this point. I had 130,000 minutes listened. Add that up all together, and that is 90 days consecutively of listening. So if I sat down on January 1st, and that means Spotify would not turn off until February, until the end of March, at the start of April, which is a lot of time. So 130,000 minutes listened, and actually 80,000 of those minutes were podcasts, because I love podcasts. I think podcasts are great. All of the podcasts that I listen to are all comedy podcasts. I don't listen to anything informative or educational, obviously, but it's all comedy podcasts or like internet celebrity podcasts and stuff like that. And I think they're great, because it is the best thing to just lose yourself in while you're working or you're at home doing something. There really isn't a second of my day. There really isn't a moment of my life where I'm not listening to something. And it's podcasts and music. Like the only periods of time where I'm not listening to something is when I'm sleeping. The transition from my earbuds to the radio in my car, or when I'm talking to somebody. I mean, it's kind of this thing where if I don't have something playing in my ears, I feel kind of anxious. Not anxious. if I feel like I just get this feeling where I think to myself, I could be listening to something. And for a little bit, I kind of made myself worried. I thought to myself, am I addicted to listening? Which is kind of a silly thing to ask, but it got to a point where even when I took off took out my earbuds to watch a video or something, or like if I was trying to cook an eggplant and I had to watch a video on how to cook an eggplant, I would get like uncomfortable, because it's like, no, like I have to have either my podcasts or my music playing, which is weird, which is very weird. But I say all that to say that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because for the last good 5 years I have been listening to podcasts a lot. And for those of you who don't know me, I make music. I'm a producer and a musician. I'm a multi-instrument musician. I'm a operatically trained singer, and I'm a mix engineer for mastering and mixing and everything like that. So I mean, I'm a Swiss Army knife for audio. The intro theme that you heard at the beginning of this, I produced that. But I say all of that to say I like making music. I just don't know if I love making music. I like performing. I just don't know if I love performing. And after thinking a lot, because I have a lot of time to think at my job, I thought to myself, maybe, because really, for those of you who want to know, which is probably two of you, and one of those is my mother, what my dream, my true and blue, buckle my freaking shoe, my true and blue honest dream is to have my own production company. That is my dream. To have my own production company, to have a team. I think that is what I want to do with my life. At this point in time, again, I'm 21 years old, very young. A lot can change. A lot has changed. But having a production company is my dream. What is a production company? Some of you might ask. A production company is everything. It is everything. A production company could specialize in something. It could be more broad. That's where I would like to go, is be a bit more broad. A production company does everything. A production company is the one-stop shop for anything creative or corporate or visual or audio or whatever. If it's a live show, or if it's or if it's a podcast, or editing the visuals for a hospital commercial. That's what a production company is. And I just think that is the coolest thing. To have my own production company with my own team, where no one works for me. We all work together. We work with fulfilling other people's dreams and creative ideas and wants and needs, and seeing that smile on their face and seeing that product, for them to say, this is exactly what I had envisioned. Man, that's the dream. I am telling you right now, that is the dream. That is what I want. Like that is what I want to do with my life, honestly. That and collecting Pokemon cards. Those are the priorities. And to do what I did last night, which was eat an inhuman amount of chips and salsa. So much that I am still somewhat full. Could I eat right now? Yes, because I'm over 250 pounds. But Gosh, chips and salsa. I will tell you right now, if chips and salsa were a person, I would not be single. No. In a world where chips and salsa were a person, I would not be single. I'm telling you that right now. That is a combination that humans got right. There's a lot of things humans didn't get right. For example, the parents of whoever continues to put in the code for the bathroom and it keeps flashing red, and even though it flashes red, they still put in the code. Um, those people got it wrong, for sure. Uh, because that kid is stupid. The people who got it right are the people who combined chips and salsa. Absolutely. Those are the people who got it right. So, yeah. Um my Mac is running low on battery. That's the thing, because the cable I needed to connect my phone to is the same cable that I connect uh you know my phone is the same cable that's used to connect to charge my laptop. Goodness. Sorry, that kind of threw me for a loop for a second. So I'm trying to figure out live why what to do. I don't want to end it right now. We're at about 52 minutes. But yeah, sorry, I had to take a break for a sec to go do something. But yeah, I was talking about my production company that I want. That's kind of what it's kind of maybe visions of grandeur, which there is no way that's a word. First of all, there's no way I said it right. Second of all, make it easier. Make words Lars just sneezed. That means he agrees with me. But this might be too big of thinking. Reading Rainbow taught me that there is no such thing as too big of thinking, but that's kind of what I want Something Cafe to become. It's kind of copying the same route that TMG Studios did. For those of you who don't know who TMG Studios are, they are two internet celebrities who started a podcast, but then that podcast turned into a production company. So a lot of inspirations coming from them. Will I be as successful as those guys? I don't think so. But we can all hope. But again, watching them do that is just so cool. I mean, they started this podcast, and after years and years of shooting and uploading and work, they got their own studio, their own set, and then they started other shows. So they have like 5 other shows that they shoot on that set with other people and other hosts. And I just think that's the coolest thing. I think that's so freaking cool. And what will happen with Something Cafe? I don't know, but the reason why I called it Something Cafe is because I think for one, a lot of the things that I create just the aesthetic of a cafe is just such it's such an attractive setting. It's such an attractive setting, a cafe, a good cafe, where it smells like freshly brewed coffee and people are in there. You hear forks and knives and plates, and there's really yummy danishes that are called Duchma freaking Schwa Danish. in a cafe, there's a lot of emotions going on. There are people falling in love in cafes. There are people falling out of love in cafes. There are people working hard in cafes if they're studying or doing whatever. That's what I'm doing after this. I'm gonna go to my favorite cafe, and probably gonna start editing this. But um, there are people there who are just relaxing. Maybe they just got done with church. Maybe they are about to go see their mother. That's something I wish I could do. Not that my mom's dead. She just lives in a couple states away. Um, Maybe they are there and they're waiting for their cat to finish having its balls removed. These are all things that are happening in a cafe. you know a good cafe runner, I wanted to say barista, but I'm talking more just about the person who's running it, would play jazz, would play light jazz, um would play something nice like that. A cafe that plays jazz is a cafe that I'm spending a lot of money at, for sure. So calling this something cafe, um I wanted that cafe element, but then the word something, it's actually kind of funny. I was spitballing the name with one of my best friends, and me and her were just going back and forth. I was like, maybe I call it this or that or that or this, and then I had the thought, oh, cafe. Okay, well, what can I do with that? How can I run with that theme? Um, and so then I just started texting her things like, it's gonna be either something cafe or cafe something, or just we have to find a word than the word cafe. Celestino cafe. No. Stutter cafe. Funny, but no. Something cafe. And then I just looked at that text message. I was like, something cafe. Huh. So then I do what I do when I produce a song, and I name the song. The first thing I do before I actually settle on that name is I go to Google and I look up that phrase or that name and see if anybody else has taken it or if anybody else has named a song after it. For example, I had a song come out recently called Table for Two, which is a very that is not a specific phrase. That is not a unique arrangement of words. But when I looked it up on Spotify, there I could not find a song that was called Table for Two. Which I was very pleasantly pleased about that. Um, I would have thought that there would have been one called A Table for Two. But something so I looked up something cafe and nothing had that name. And I kind of liked it because it's ambiguous, but it's not lazy. Something cafe. It could be about anything. It could be about an Olympic diver who had a really rough night last night. Or it could be about a chubby kid with Tourette's who likes Pokemon, that is a little scared talking to girls and has a knack for good carpentry. Hmm? It could be about anything. It's ambiguous. I'm very excited to have guests on. I'm very excited to have guests on. That's probably going to be the thing I'm most excited about. And I want to do more than just have the guest on. I kind of want to. I want to do something fun with it. Like maybe whatever they do, what it's mostly going to be music. It's mostly going to be artists and musicians, just because that's the field that I'm in. But um, but it's gonna be. I'm sorry, my downstairs. I just gotta look at what my downstairs neighbor looked like. a man with a good fade on the phone. Hello, neighbor. I'm excited to meet them. But no, I it's gonna be mostly musicians and artists just because that's my field of work. But I want like whatever they do, I kind of want to partake in what they do for the episode. I think that'd be kind of fun. It'd be interesting to you guys, much more interesting than this. But yeah, something cafe. I'm very excited to see where this goes. To see where this goes. Whew. Shout out. Shout out to Mitra. But yeah. Speaking of music, yeah, I don't think I said anything about that when I was introducing myself, but yeah, I'm a musician. Singing is what I do best. I mean, what the heck? Sorry, it's weird. But yeah, no, singing is what I do best. I'm a professional operatically. That's not a word, but it's a word now. Trained singer. I started singing opera when I was 10 years old. Gosh, I've told this story more times than I've started probably because it's just every time I talk about me singing opera, it feels like I'm just telling the same thing over and over again. But I started when I was 10. I got taken in as an apprentice to the professor of opera at the university that I grew up around. I love that man. Um, Huge inspiration. I'm not gonna say his name, because I don't wanna dox anybody. I don't wanna, you know. But yeah, no, I got taken in as an apprentice, of sorts, and when I was around 10 years old, 8 or 10, and I studied and trained under him for about 10 years. I say 10 years because I stopped um when I had moved to the state that I'm in now for college. Because you have to stop because I'm physically not there anymore to do lessons. But yeah, so singing's what I do best. I'm still a performer. I'm still a singer. I'm not doing it as much anymore just because I've um, kind of come to not to realize, but I just haven't been that motivated to go out and perform. A lot of people have been saying to me that I should keep doing it, and I haven't. I'm not gonna stop. I will keep doing it, but currently right now, I just don't I just don't want to. You know, I know it's something I'm good at, but I just don't want to. And there's a lot to that. Maybe I'll do an episode covering that, but there's a lot to unpackage in that. Um, but as I'm older now, I have to understand that I can make my own decisions, you know. Um, and I can make my own choices, and I don't have to do what other people tell me to do. Not in an arrogant way, not be like, oh, I'm not gonna, wash my bed sheets because mom told me. No, like I wash my bed sheets, but no, it's just I'm for the first time in my life, I'm finally looking at myself and saying, okay, this is what everyone else is saying that I'm good at and what I should do, but what do I want to do? Still figuring that out. But I'm 21. That's what this time is for. Am I right? I say that like I know, but I don't because I've never been 21 except for right now. Um, I have no idea. Oh, music. So yeah, I'm a singer. Piano. I play the piano. I have a nice piano to my right here. It's really cool because actually on the piano I have all of these um all of these Funko Pops. Um, they are Pokemon Funko Pops. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, I'm a saxophonist, which is actually the correct way to say that you play the saxophone. It's not saxophonist. It's saxophonist. Just like a piano player is a pianist. Say that without cracking a smile. Pianist. Pianist. I am a pianist. That's a word that they did not think through. But yeah, I'm a saxophonist and a pianist. I'm also somewhat of a trombonist. Which trombonist? Trombonist? I don't know. I suck at the trombone though. It was a joke. It was I picked the only reason I picked up a trombone was because it was my senior year of high school, which my senior year of high school was like that. It was the worst thing ever. Just everything bad happened senior year. But I was like, I'm somewhat good at the saxophone, whatever. I went to my band teacher. I was like, I really want to just learn something new. He was like, try the trombone. I was like, all right, cool. So I just started playing it. I've never played a brass instrument in my life, and I did not know how to read the sheet music for a trombone, but I was just like, screw it. I mean, it's something new to try. I did the same thing with football. I could not even tell you how football is played. You could show me the score at the end of a football game, and I would not even be able to tell you who won. Hold on. But I decided to play football my senior year. And I'll tell you why. Because the theater program got like kind of shut down because of COVID, which I did theater for like 4 years in high school. The only reason that I did football was because theater shut down, really. Like the theater program didn't shut down, but like all of the productions you had to wear masks, which I'm not saying I'm against masks. It's just acting with a mask is just not fun. Like the joy of acting comes from expressing and talking and singing and speaking. Put a mask over it, and it is just not fun. It takes away what's fun about acting. So I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Well, what program in the high school definitely doesn't make you like that? Like, what program in the high school definitely does not care about COVID? How about them good old pigskin boys over on the football team? Them guys acted like COVID was a dream. I mean, those guys did not care, man. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I might be able to lose some weight. It's some exercise, and it's something new. I'm all about trying something new. And the one thing people that I went to high school with did not expect about me, the people that knew me in high school would have assumed that I would have became an archaeologist before I played football. I mean, people were like, "What? Celestino's play? You're playing football? What?" I'm like, "Yeah. Why? I don't know. It's exercise and it's fun, and I get to like run at people, and which I've always been kind of like a big guy. I have pretty good strength, but playing football, that humbled me, man. That humbled me. I was probably the weakest kid on that team. I could not throw for nothing. I couldn't run for nothing. The only redeeming factor about me in football was just my effort. I was so bad. I was so bad. Get this. This is probably the most pathetic thing that has ever happened to me. This is probably the most pathetic thing that I have done in my entire life. I was so bad at football that not just did I ask the coach to not put me in, but I sprained my ankle running out of the tunnel. I sprained my ankle running out of the tunnel, which is so pathetic. That is so pathetic. Oh my gosh. I sprained my ankle running out of the tunnel. That was so. It's so funny looking back on it now. But gosh, that is just so pathetic, dude. And I remember exactly what happened. So senior year, I was a senior there. So in the tunnel, the big inflatable tunnel that the pet band, and then all the football players run out of the tunnel. I was a senior, and all of the seniors got put in front. That's where we went wrong. I was the slowest kid on that entire team. I was the slowest kid on. There was a kid who was like 400 pounds. That dude was Indy 500. I was the slowest kid on that entire team, and they put me in the front. And because I was kind of, I don't even want to say underdog, because underdog implies that something that I like, that I have some hidden talent that emerged like at the end of the movie Rudy. No, I was not even the underdog. I was just the dog. Because I was the dog of the team, people were just like, "Oh yeah, so let's put Celestino in front." It was kind of a joke, but it wasn't a joke about me. It was just, again, it was just funny that I was doing football, because that's like the last thing I ever would have done in my whole life. Let's put Celestino in front, yeah. And I'm looking up at all these guys I play football with, because they're all like 6'5", big dudes, and I'm like, yeah, guys, let's go. I have to crane my neck to look up at my friends on the football team. They're like, yeah, let's put him in front. And I'm like, verbally, I'm like, yeah, let's go. In my head, it is like the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. Like, I am on that U-boat, scared, knowing what's on that beach. And that beach was coming in fast. And the pep band starts playing, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, this is going to be the sprint of my life. I'm going to run so fast. I'm going to put everything in this. This is the last game of the season. This is our home field. No one knows why I'm on the team, and I'm gonna run out of that tunnel with all 260 pounds of Sicilian thunder. Now I'm getting ready, and the pet band starts playing. We bust through. I'm like, I'm sprinting. Here's the thing, because I'm in the front, for audio listeners, just imagine this, but since I'm in the front, and this is the team just completely passes me. And I'm just like trying to. Audio listeners, Lars has entered the studio, without asking me, without knocking. Pretty kitty. But yeah, the whole team passes me. I told myself, this is the sprint of my lifetime, an absolute sprint of a lifetime. And I was eating dust. I was licking the soles of their cleats. I got passed by every kid in that. And this wasn't even a long sprint. This was from the corner of the field to the center. And in that short distance, I managed to get passed by every single person on that team. When I told myself this was going to be the hardest I was ever going to sprint in my life. And as the last person was about to pass me, I told myself, dude, gas pedal, bro. Kick it in. Go all out. And I'm not even kidding. The moment I finished that thought, I put my foot down to pull out all the stops, to just go. The moment that thought finished and I put my foot down, my ankle rolled so hard, and I heard a pop, and the pain just throughout my entire body, and I fell. And I had to limp to the center while everyone's jumping up and down. Yeah, let's go, everybody. Woo. I was the hunchback of Notre Dame because I just that was so embarrassing. Just completely sprained my ankle. The game hasn't even we haven't even started warm-ups yet. And I sprained my ankle running out of the tunnel. Gosh, that was embarrassing. That was so embarrassing. And every game the coach would ask if I wanted to get in. Like if it was a game that we were losing real bad or if we were winning real good, he would look over at us, at us undesirables, which the coach liked me. He definitely was not rude to me. Like, he knew my situation. He knew I was doing it just for fun, but he would always try to get me in just to let me play. I was the only kid on that 100-person strong football team that ever said no to that question 100% of the time. I could have had a perfect bill of health. And the reason I said no, because I am just so scared of getting absolutely meat clobbered by one of those gargantuans. I am so scared of that because since I'm a bigger kid, I would have been on the defense line or whatever the heck they call it. And I just would have gotten just flattened out. And if I sprained my ankle running out of the tunnel, dude, how am I going to fare as a giant just an absolute meat monkeys running towards me? Just rabies just tackling me. How am I going to do well against that? Second of all, I don't know the rules to football. I practiced this entire season. I traveled to every game. I could not tell you the rules. The only thing I cared about when I played football was just the exercise, just the exercise, and I just thought it was funny that I was playing football. That's it. I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing about the game. So I was like, no, coach, I do not want to be put in because first of all, I'm going to die. So if you're going to put me in the game, you better call Morgan Funeral Home and get me one of them pretty little coffins, pretty little caskets, because I'm going to be dead in the next 15 minutes. Second of all, I just did not know the rules. So yeah, football my senior year, it was definitely funny. You can't say it wasn't funny. At least to me, I thought it was funny because it's so stupid. But man, that was just not my habitat. That was like seeing that was like seeing a leopard at a Starbucks. That just don't belong. That just don't belong. Take a sip of the elixir. Yeah. I'm wearing a football shirt because my little brother plays D1 football. Very proud of him. Very proud of him. Would never say that to his face because we're brothers and we're supposed to be annoying to each other, but very, very proud of him for that. Very cool little bro. Me and my little brother could not be more opposite. I mean, genuinely could not be more opposite from each other at all. I mean, maybe our humor's the same. Maybe. But everything else is just the opposite. Red and blue, black and white. Trump and Biden. I mean, it is the opposite. So I am a stocky, chubbier, shorter, black-haired, beard having white man, and he is that's something else that we share, that we are both white. That is the only other thing that we share. He is a 6 foot something blonde, lean, muscular, athletic, blonde man with blue eyes. I actually have three colors in my eyes. blue, green, and then I have a gold ring around my pupil, like a genuine Pikachu yellow golden ring around my pupil, which is pretty cool. I like that if anybody gets close enough to see it, which would be awkward. But he is a blue eye, just Irish, absolutely Irish, blonde, 6 foot something. I'm like five. I'm like 5'7" or I don't even know how tall I am. I genuinely don't know. I could be 5'9" for all I know. I'm probably 5'9", but the music that we listen to is completely opposite. I love Hispanic music, reggaeton, bachata. I listen to salsa a lot. I listen to, we both listen to hip hop, but not the same hip hop. Um, I listen to a lot of jazz and things like Barry Manilow and stuff like that. He listens to freaking Drake or whatever he listens to, but even the girls that we like our types of women, just completely opposite. Everything's opposite. I think that's hilarious though, because like when we tell people that we are brothers and that he's the younger one, the dude's like a foot taller than me and he's the younger one by 2 years. People are like, "What? No." And honestly, that's because my mother's Sicilian and my dad is Irish, and I got all of this. I got all of this Sicilian. I got all of it. Declan got whatever was left, and that was the Irish. The Irish was left. Isn't that kind of funny how that works, man? I mean, you've got twins. Like me and my little bro grew up with. We were friends with a pair of twins, and I knew them for a long time. I was good. Me and my little brother's name is Declan. Me and Declan were good friends with them. I could not tell them apart. I just kind of knew. I just kind of, they are twins that we are friends with, so I just kind of treated them both the same without knowing either of their names, even though I had known them for like 6 years because I couldn't tell them apart whatsoever. But yeah. Yeah, that's just really interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting. Well, the recording has been going. It's about an hour and 22 minutes. I think for the podcast, I'd like to hit an hour and a half of recording. Just because you have to make room for editing. If I say something that isn't that funny, I'm gonna cut it out. So that means this is an hour and a half of recording, so the episode's probably going to be about 10 minutes long. And I did take a break in the middle because, I had to go save a damsel in distress from a burning tree. So, yeah, we're going to see. I'm pretty good at editing audio and music. Video, we'll see. But this is just the beginning, and I'm excited. This is something that I'm committed to. I'm not doing it for anybody really, I'm doing it for the people who care, but really I'm just excited to have something like this for myself, a podcast, and I'm so excited to have guests on. I'm very excited to have guests on. I think that's going to be the most exciting part. Because I can only be as interesting can get. I'm gonna crack my back. There really isn't anything, extravagant about me other than just what I talk about. Other than I just love chips and salsa and bigger women. That's the bread and butter, ladies and gentlemen. That is the bread and butter. So I just want to thank you all for watching or listening. For those of you who made it all the way to the end, thank you. Thank you very much. This podcast is only going to get better with time as I get more experienced and better at talking. And when I have guests on, let me know who you want me to have as a guest. If there's if you know me in my personal life and we know the same people, or even let me know if you want to be a guest. Hit me up. I don't know how well I'm gonna do with like a virtual one. Like if I were to have to be on Zoom with someone, I could definitely make it work. Like I could definitely make it work. But I don't know how well how good quality that's gonna be. But hey, if you aren't in I'll just say if you aren't in Florida, and that's all I'm gonna say about the location that I'm in. If you aren't in Florida, then let me know. If you aren't in Florida and you want to be on the podcast, let me know, or if you know someone. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Leave it down in the comments or whatever. And the only person that's probably still listening is my own mother, so none of that matters. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you next time. This has been Something Cafe.